Hi everyone, this is Dave from Website Marketing Solutions, and I want to wish all of you the best of luck. I want to wish that you can stay hunkered down, that you can take care of the things you need to take care of, that you can get stocked up, that you're washing your hands all the time, that you're practicing social distancing and doing everything you can to resume life in the home. In the meantime, we've had to do the same. As you can imagine, it's been pretty wild and chaotic, and especially in our world because it means that all the servers are getting updated fast, simply because so much activity is suddenly pouring into them now. So it's been pretty busy all the way around. What I want to do real quick is walk through what we are doing because we are actually on the threshold of being able to really capitalize, so to speak, on on where this is headed. So, first of all, a lot of people are going to be home more than ever before. A lot of people are going to want to start websites for the first time, even if they're small and simple, just to let people know what they can do. So if they don't have a job, they can still offer their services. A lot of people are going to be putting more effort into their websites because they have time to. A lot of people are going to put more effort into their websites to rank because they're bored. There are a lot of reasons why people are going to hop online and spend more time on their sites, beefing them up, increasing their exposure, and everything else. What are we doing? Where are we? How does that fit for those of you, and especially for those of you who've been paying, which is great. For us, you've been providing the support for us to push that growth. I want to cover several things at once. Okay, so let me just start with this notion. If I were to come over here, we are building an actual portfolio, okay? And we haven't dialed it all in. These numbers are everywhere where they are because things haven't been dialed in, like which are the right keywords to go after first, second, and third. However, we've been doing a lot of tests along the way. And this has been extremely important because it's just teaching us different things that are happening and what it means. In the meantime, do be aware of one thing, that's that Google's slowing down on a lot of indexing simply because they're taking on so much news about the coronavirus and federal stimulus and everything worldwide. It's just making it harder for them to catch up with the latest stuff that's happening locally. But where are we going for you? We're creating a portfolio that you're going to be able to log into. Okay, not all the websites will be on the portfolio. Some are private projects, but many websites will be, and it'll be a lot like this. It's going to be for various industries, and you're going to be able to watch how they're growing, watch how page authority starts to rise, domain authority starts to rise. So usually you see page authority rise first, domain authority rise second, and along with those backlinks are rising. Okay, and then you start to see keywords. Now, keywords are the toughest because we actually have to go through every project and dial in sets of keywords, which is tricky because we can only make so many changes per day in the system the way it is now. We will come back to this and make this square this away pretty soon. In the meantime, we've been dealing with server upgrades and we still have basic broken parts that we're getting finished. We got the techs on it, but we couldn't get them on it before because everyone had to get home, had to move in, rearrange the house, set up a working station at home, and basically train their family, that, hey, daddy's here, but it doesn't mean he's accessible from this hour to this hour. And for moms, especially moms who are used to being home with their kid or their child's at daycare, that can be very different too. Having said that, how many different choices are we going to have in here? It's going to come into hundreds very soon. I'll explain why in a minute. But what I want to say is this. We have a goal right now of tagging all of the industries out there, the ones that are going to pick up any kind of visibility now are going to be things like homeopathy, say. There's going to be a lot more traffic in the homeopathic websites than there used to be for all the obvious reasons. Cheap medicine, right? There are going to be a bunch of things that pick up now. There are going to be a lot of things that'll pick up later into the year as this starts to work its way through, but we're getting all of this on a roll. And because the goal right now, build up the rank. So as people get through the coronavirus and summer's kicking in, all of this stuff is going to start to work for you. So what do you do when you start to see graphs that you like? Because you're going to be able to earn from this very much like a stock market. This is the first ever setup we know where we can go full scale on all the industries out there. We have a goal of 100 industries over the next 2 weeks to backlink with 100 websites each, if not 200 websites each. I think the number is really 190 backlink projects per industry right now. And that's going to drive, well, it's going to drive graphs up. We haven't started it yet because we keep hitting jams on the way, but we're so close. We're down to our last couple of things. It's just permission settings on servers and so on that we're learning because it's all set up since there's so much more opportunity for hacking right now with everyone home and everyone going online. Well, we're just about through it. So how does it look from our end? Let me just show you what this means. You're going to be able to look at these and see things working their way up the ladder and say, I want to buy into that. Or I have a subscription, I want to switch to that. Okay, so we have a place where all the subscriptions go and you can sign up to it. gettrialleads.com/WI gives you access to the marketplace of open positions you can get. You can get cheaper positions or more expensive positions. The idea is obviously cheaper positions are going to pay less, more expensive positions pay more, but get what you can work out, you know. And what are you getting? You're getting things that are starting to look good to you. You're looking at the graphs and saying, ooh, these are rising, they're starting to pick up strength, they're taking jumps. Time now. You know, are there positions available still? I'm going to get into those. Obviously, you're going to want to get into things when you see that they're going to ripen because you're going to want to beat the other guys who grab the open positions because it's going to be like free money as this starts to work out. As we come out the other end of the virus, lots of industries are going to start paying. Everyone's going to start returning to normal and all this stuff is going to pay. So we did have to come up with a basic rule that says for all of you who want to earn from positions, you must pay at that level at least 3 months. Okay, that's your qualification period of payment. So if you want to earn from one metro area up to 1 million people in a given industry, but you can switch any industry. You can switch from one position to the next, no problem. You'll like that because it means you don't have to worry specifically about whatever industry you got in. But if you're paying at the 125 a month level, you got to make 3 such payments to start earning from the system. Then you don't have to be consistent with your pay. You can come and go whenever you're seeing things move. You're usually going to be in and you're just going to switch positions or you're going to hold positions that are paying you very well. And you'll want to pick up more positions as your cash increases. This is going to be like the monopoly. You're going to start to make money on this and you're going to use it to buy things here and here. Do you get it? Not these particular projects, but that's how this is going to be. So the more you get, the more strategically you build up that virtual real estate and the more you make yourself rich online. That's the goal. So now that we're forced to hunker down in our homes and everyone doesn't have anywhere else to go, we're putting more effort into this all at once than we ever could before. And we're doing it because there's a sense of urgency. We need to get this working for all of you. For us and for you, because everyone's stuck at home without pay, right? A lot of people without pay. So we want to make sure that those of you who are supporting us, we're supporting you. And now's the time. So let me step in and say this. Once you would sign up, there's a place where you would log in and you would see, you can see the list of positions that are available. You can get any position you want at the level you want to pay at. If you want to get 5 metro areas, or I'm sorry, 4 metro areas would be 4 million people or more, then you would be paying $500 a month. You would make 3 such payments. And that way, you can absolutely start earning at that level of 4 million people, you know, metro areas. And if the position that you're in is paying a certain amount, but you see something take off like crazy on this, it just takes a leap up, you can switch. You can release and claim. There's a release claim option on the inside of that system. And by releasing and claiming, you can switch instantly from industry to industry. So we save the date timestamp of the switches so that we can just keep track of the mathematical payouts you should be earning from positions you had to positions you're going in. The thing is totally automated in the back end in such a way that we can track payouts. So what do? You put in your PayPal address. Those of you who have a PayPal account, that's the predominant way to pay. And we're going to be able to do mass payouts. Okay, so as that happens, and that's the general way that this earns, a bunch of the projects are going to earn pay per lead. Okay, so whenever somebody calls a company, whether it's a house painting company, roofing company, a homeopath, anyone, not usually homeopaths because it's cheaper, so usually they would pay by the month. There's going to be pay, and it's going to be more than you're paying. You're going to get a good share. The goal is to get you at least to 3 times as profitable per position. And like Monopoly, you build up your holdings as you go. Are we deflating you to 3 times on purpose? No. The goal is if you can't quite get that high, we're going to throw in some other metro areas to make that work. As we work with these graphs, we're going to be able to see that. And we're going to be able to see exactly what's working, what isn't, and why, and make things work harder. We've already seen that too. Some of the websites, like this one, just pegged, right? If I were to bring the graph back, you'd see that they were at the bottom of page 3, bottom of page 3. Then when they did this to the bottom of page 1, or even the middle of page 1, and then they went to a manual review with Google, 2 days later, wow, they were right back up at the bottom of page 1. Very slight correction, but now the bottom of page 1, they basically have been there and spiked to the middle of page 1 ever since. Maybe slightly below the bottom of page 1. How do we get them higher? A little more effort into their site, more backlinks into their site, just review their site, maybe site audit real quick, give them some hints to tweak, and then boom, okay? And it's like that for everyone. Other graphs, they're going to take off first. You're going to see things like referring domains shooting up in the air. That's going to come before keywords start to rise. By the way, we haven't plotted keywords yet, so this could be starting to rise on keywords too, but we haven't plotted it yet because, like I said, we have limitations for each of these projects by the day as we put them in. And in the back end, we've just been busy with other things. Okay, so on the front end, you see the visual and you can decide what you want to claim and release. And in the back end, once you sign up, you're signed up. So in the back end, once you log in, you can release and claim any positions that are available in the market. And if somebody else releases a position to claim something else, whatever they release becomes available in the market. So there's this huge opportunity to buy and sell just like in a stock market. Get what you want, dump what you don't, and keep earning along the way. Okay? All right, so now you understand what's happening. This is what we're building. We don't know anyone who's building this, and we want this to work for everyone. This is meant to be one of those online centers that everyone can earn from and retire from. And this is like our retirement plan for us, and your retirement plan for you, at least part of it, is in the ability to do this. Okay? Now, how's that look in terms of work? Just to give you a sense of this, okay? We're looking at one project here, and there are a bunch of sites that have been done spread across some servers. In this case, 2 servers. The guy was on a plan. He got 2 servers, a stack of what, like 20 websites each. Okay, has been done in 2 months for this project. That was done. But I want to show you. See all of this down here, these tabs? Let me give you a sense of this. I mean, this is just tons of work getting done in terms of setup, okay? All the stuff that has to come first for the projects to take off like crazy. And we've been doing testing. As a matter of fact, the Doggy Days thing Doggy Days, I was just going to say, hold on one sec. Sorry, I'm getting whiplash trying to keep up. The Doggy Days. Yeah, see this? We were testing, we've been proving that we're pushing things up. We also wanted to test how fast we can pull something back down. Right around here somewhere, we reverted a stack of sites. And after a few days, boom, the rank dropped. Okay, it was okay because these guys aren't ready. They're moving to a new facility. Okay, they actually would rather have fewer calls now until they're done. And so it was a perfect time to test on them. But we're proving both ways that we can push things up and pull things down. And that's great because if we go pushing things up even for prospects like demo clients, and then when they get high enough, we contact the guy and say, hey, you want to start buying leads? And the guy says something like, oh, I can't afford any more leads right now. My workers are already busy. Then it's like, okay, so thanks. And we call some of the competitors, and whoever says, man, I could really use leads. The better some guys do, the worse other guys are doing in a given area, right? Like house painting. There are only so many guys a day looking for it. If somebody's doing well, somebody's not doing well, because you can't just keep adding pretend people. There's so many people there, right? So whoever's grabbing more of them, that means fewer for the rest. So what do? You start taking these back. So all those backlinks you drove to the one guy with, and he's like, "Oh, I'm flooded. I don't want to pay." Maybe you did it for me. Maybe you didn't. Oh, okay. So what do? We redirect all those backlinks to one or more of these other guys who said that they want to take up that slack, right? Especially if we're showing the graphs and they're like, "I want that." Great. And then as we do that, curves like this would be going the other way. They just whap. They go up in the other guy's favor. So the one guy drops and the other guy gains. Okay. We can absolutely make that happen. By the way, how do we know that we're going to make all these graphs profitable anyway? Because the information is complete. The projects that we're setting up include Google Analytics, and anyone who knows, that means that we can dial in where the traffic's coming from, what keywords they're coming from. We can go see exactly everything going on, and where our traffic's coming from, so that we can double down in those metro areas and drive them up. Okay, and we can do that with we're aiming for 100 industries, okay? And we're just going to keep adding to it after that. Where was I? Okay, let me give you just a sense of this. We've been so busy. We're just kicking this into action because copywriters have been starting to write content. There's, if you see all these tabs, right? There's like keyword stack for every project. We are literally creating referral websites using different keywords onto all of our referring websites spread across all the servers. Okay, it's like 950 websites spread across 12 servers right now, and they're getting backlinks for each of these projects on different, like 950 websites. I said, right? We're doing 200. Well, we're doing 190 keywords at a time. So we're doing stacks of 95 because there's 950. So by the time we go through 950, we've done 10 projects. Get it? So there's 95 of those 950, the next 95, the next 95, the next 95, the next 95. Then we come back around and do the second batch of 95 and just keep going, okay? So we're absolutely driving up great, insane micro website projects for everything that we're touching, okay? This is huge. It's benefiting us. We're getting like keyword counts for everything. We're being really clear on where we're headed and what's possible and how we make that work. And it's not just about keywords. I mean, first it's like, what are all of our sites? Which ones are ready? Which ones aren't? And why? What ones didn't have the name server set forward correctly? Anything configured oddly or not finished? Let's get all that done. It just goes on and on. Okay, so if I just start backing up through this, it's insane. All right. Look at that. I flip this tab and I just keep right on going. There's so much work that we've been doing. Our guys have been getting really good at understanding what's going on, what's involved, and we're just tearing through all of this. Everyone doing their part of all this work in order to make it go. So we've been learning. Not only that, let me start at the beginning too. We've really been organizing. Look, this is one, cities by zips, right? And that's not even, I got to go all the way again just to get to the beginning of it, right? So if I look, we've got everything. We know our cities, what states they belong to, what county they're in, what the population is, and we know the whole stack of zips that go with it, city by city. That brings us to the next tab. We've got our whole list of US cities across the entire nation. It's like 29,000 that count. We've got county populations. We've been figuring out the populations of each county, okay, top to bottom. We know all the numbers, okay, for what we care about, okay? So if we want 1 million people, we just take two counties, right? We've got 1.3 million people there anyway, 1.35 or so. When we do county city breakdowns, that's cool. We know the population of each county, what county that is. So this would be like somebody paying this would be like somebody paying $1,000 a month. okay, then this right here is 10 million people getting covered by that. All right. So no matter what the project is, it would pay for all of that. And this is all those cities in that project. So all the projects we make cover all these cities here, for example, right? And again, if somebody's not making enough, we'll tack on more room because we can. We're really onboarding this in a huge way. You guys have been making the payments that build it up. Okay, that's how it is for everything. Anytime a guy wants to start ranking, he has to start paying monthly so that the website SEO guys can start doing their work. It's not going to happen with one payment. It's going to be keep paying monthly, and we'll keep working monthly, and we'll make sure to drive you up. That's why we have this tracking. Everybody gets access to this for public projects. Okay, all of the public stuff, all of the 100 industries. We're not going to show graphs for all of the backlinking websites. That's insane, right? We can't do it. This thing charges for how many websites you put in here. But we are going to put the main websites that we have for each industry. So, for instance, if we have an industry like roofing, it's here somewhere, but where? I always forget where these things are because we're still just going through the routines, right? If we had roofing, okay, we're going to have like one or two. Okay, if we have one roofing website, that's one roofing website. If we add more later, then we're going to roofing. We'll create a category called roofing, obviously. Painters. So if we have like 2 painters, then we're going to have painters. We're going to have different graphs in here for that, right? Cool thing is this. When you see websites in one industry start to pick up, then as we add more websites for the same industry, aiming for the same metro area, you're already covered from your payment up to, the amount of people you're covered by. How many millions of people? That's the size of the payment you're making, right? So if we have one website in this area for an industry like house painting, you're covered by it. If we get 2, that's still in your same subscription. If we get 3 websites going and we're covering this, that's still in your same subscription. What's our goal? To get a bunch of main websites for 100 industries going so that we can maximize total sales. Here's an example of why. Say we've got one painter website and a guy wants his house painted and he goes calling and he happens to call through that website in his area. Okay, that's a payment that we get to make because that's a good lead. Okay, but he's going to price shop. So he's not just going to say, okay, I'm buying. He might say, okay, thanks for the information. I'll let you know. You only paint your house once every 20 years. May as well check a few companies. He's going to call another company to see how their prices compare and their availability. So guess what? If that's also a website of ours, we just got 2 payments coming from that one guy. One company is going to be paying for that lead. Another company is going to be paying for the same lead. We get 2 payments. Well, what if we got 3 websites up there that people happen to call through? That's 3 payments. What if we can get 10 websites up there and people usually call 3 and we usually pick up 2 or 3 of those calls? That's a lot of money per person, right? So we want that for all the industries we can. And by spreading the net wide, then up times, down times, sideways times, we can actually be picking up. We'll see where all the graphs are rising. Okay, so this is like a fledgling infant learning how to crawl, and that's what it's doing. And pretty soon it will stand up and start walking. And this is huge. It's a new industry. How you earn from website gains that are run by dispatchers, that are run by guys who are willing to pay directly for leads, from guys who are willing to pay by the month, where you get to pay a wholesale to force the growth and you can switch your positions and earn from the retail. We want to be the wholesalers and we want you to be the retailers, because if you're providing us consistency, we know how far we can grow, how much we can do. Trust me, it is the guys who have been paying, right, who make all this possible. And therefore, we have to have that rule that says you got to pay for at least 3 months before you can start earning, because you would build up the project at the level you want, whether it's 125 a month or whether it's $500 a month, or whether it's $1,000 a month or $1,250 a month, you would build up at the level you want to earn at, whether you're earning from a massive metro area with 10 million plus people in it, or a smaller metro area, that's got like half the people in it. Okay, or a small metro area, but hey, you're going to start there and build up. It's just, we're trying to make this available for everyone. Obviously, the harder you can start, the faster you can climb, and the more fluency you have when you switch. Because if you're at a big level and you make that switch, you're earning from all those positions, right? At that big level. So all the positions are tiered out. So if you're on a tier 3 package, then when you release and claim, you can only claim another tier 3 package. You cannot claim like a tier 5 package because you're only paying at a tier 3 level. Okay, so just keep it in mind. You can switch anytime, you can upgrade anytime. Just the bigger you go, the more you save money because you don't start the clock again at a new level. But it doesn't matter. It's start wherever you can and build as you go, right? So work it up, help us get there, and then start earning from it. And this can be really what you wind up doing, moving forward through the rest of the year. Okay, so cities by top 50 counties for the VAR sheet. It's so easy for a project for us to fill it in on the VAR sheets for the websites for every metro area. Okay, I'm just showing you this stuff is mapped out. The amount of man hours that goes into this exact breakdown like this, getting through all of this is pretty crazy. So we've got cities by project. When we do house, home, condo, that is where do we have leads who are willing to pay right now? Okay, that's this set of 3 columns right here for city, state, and state abbreviation right now. Okay, it's kind of weird going through Google Drive sometimes. So this is for painting. There are a ton of areas where we can already go promoting. And so that means as we cast that net wide, we're going to hit some of these areas right away. Calls are going to come in through some of these areas. When that happens, we get to start earning already. Okay, we don't know which of those cities are going to pay first, second, and third, but the more we push up the graphs, the more those cities just simply hit. And the more websites we put through those cities that hit, the more we get the average payment per customer up, because it's going to call 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 of the cities that we happen to have websites for, or of the websites that we happen to have for that industry. Residential roofing. Already there are deals for guys in all these areas. Guys who will pick up the bill and make payments in all these areas. The amount of work that's gone into this is staggering. The fact that you can rent these sites and earn from them and let everyone else do their part is just huge. All right, some of these are nationwide. They don't have particular cities. Others are literally in a particular area. Lynn Campbell, love that lady. She's a great copywriter, and she's also a great hair cutter. And I got a chance to finally meet her when we were in LA a little while ago, before this whole pandemic broke out. But yeah, different things going on for everyone. All of this is just really growing at this fast rate. So what else do we have? And yeah, it's meant to benefit everyone who wants to be involved. That's it. The whole goal of this, okay, that's cities by project. And we also need what? We need keywords by project. So we have keywords by project. Mainstream keywords that, when applied with the city, becomes the mid-length, longer tail, but mid-tail keywords that go best in each of these cases. So we're getting all this together and getting ready to put this out through all the cities. And as soon as we get done catching up the software updates, we're almost done. We went through a whole series of updates on the servers. They made changes to the JSON APIs. They made changes to requirements for PHP 7.3 suddenly became required, basically. They made changes to security settings, and we just had to literally go through all our servers and untangle where some of those things have been updated and other servers had not been, because they were all gotten at different times, so they all had different settings. So we had to figure out where we needed to chmod privileges, where we needed to set remote password authentication to yes, just all these settings. So we're down to the last tiny details and we'll be in full swing. And then we get to start going. Okay. What comes after keywords by project? Destination URLs by project, right? So we'll be filling this out and starting to push it out. This is destination URLs, the main pages of the main sites, but the destination URLs for each of the keyword stacks are really going to be broken down to the keyword sets. If you have a locksmith site, okay, and yeah, we're doing that, then you got emergency, automotive, commercial, and residential are the main pages, right? Because they talk differently to the market. It's different submarkets. So you need a page for each of those angles, okay? So the keywords are different. And you don't point all the keywords at the main page of the website. It's more of a mismatch. It doesn't rank as well, and you have fewer conversions. If a guy does a search for residential locksmith, it should go direct, and that link should go directly to a residential locksmith page. It's a higher quality score. The link ranks better, and it'll be a better match if people do come through that link. Okay. If you have an emergency locksmith, the keywords for emergency locksmith, 24/7 locksmith, those need to point at the emergency locksmith page, right? Well, that's true for everything, every industry, and I've seen it over and over again, and you guys know it implicitly. When you do a search for a keyword and you see the results and you click a link, does it have to be the main page of the website? No. It should be the best page for that search on that website. So we can map all that out. Okay. So yeah, we've been getting all this work done and figured out. We've been going through the servers. We've been grooming servers. We've been even replacing some in some cases for different reasons. Some guys didn't realize to get the right kind of server, they got one that was too cheap, and the gigabytes requirement was too low. And that's why we were telling people, get the middle option or above, don't get the one at the bottom. Some guys started at the bottom anyway. It's like, we have to change servers now and move all your websites over. When we found out that they did that. And the only way you find out is when you load a bunch of websites at the same time and they don't load. They sit there and they're processing forever. And the problem that we have is in the back end, when we try to automate the work on those websites, it breaks. It times out on many of the websites. It just can't upload. As like, okay, we have to move the server first, then switch all the name servers, update all the websites, get that going. So yeah, like I said, this whole project is in it's beyond its infancy now. It's in toddler land, but it's growing fast. The way toddlers pick up and acquire information quickly, this is a virtual toddler project that's turning into a whole new thing. Okay. Again, I don't know where you can go and look up portfolios unless it's stocks, bonds, treasury yields, or foreign exchange, currency exchange. Well, when you're getting website gains, basically websites either make money or don't. They don't lose money. You don't have to worry about losses. You're just wondering how much you can gain. Okay. That is the big thing. And the fact that you can switch positions as easily as you could buy and sell out of stocks or currencies is incredibly important, because you need to have that fluency and yet get tracked for the earnings along the way, right? It's important. So literally it's built into the back end for tracking all of this information in the back end to go along with whatever you see on the graphs and want to do on the front end. Okay. So those of you who are paying to build all this up, you're going to benefit big from this, because here's where we are right now. We did some testing. I've got remote computers set up, and even behind me, I've got two here, where literally we just started to have them crunch results, right? Just start installing websites. And we're moving at a speed that's like, two computers are doing about 4 installations a minute each. That's literally 8 per minute. That's basically 500 per hour. So that's like 10,000 in 20 hours of processing. So 10,000 means this. If we're doing 190 keywords per project times 100 industries, so we're doing 190 installations, 190 backlinking websites per project times 100 industries is 19,000. Okay, that's spread across all the subdomains, across all the 950 domains that we have now, across 12 servers, and we're going to be able to add to that later. We can now pull something like that off in just a few days. What about image production? We're at the same boat. We found that if we have two computers processing images at the same time, then we're doing the equivalent of a new image every single second. And they're all unique. They're all totally unique. And what that means is Google loves them. So if we do 3 big banner images per website, that's 3 seconds for every new website. That means that we can outfit 20 websites a minute with images. The big banner images, 20 per minute. And no two of those images are the same, and yet they look great. They're professional looking images. Okay? And that's why things like this happen, where if we go into a manual review, they say, oh, okay, because they go look at the site and go, yeah, I can't complain. This is a good site. This site is doing its job. It's pitching something and saying, come here and check it out. It's doing its job and it's doing it right. Okay. In the meantime, we build in all the controls. We can follow, we can no follow. We can build in the coding controls for how the link information shows up. We can backlink using naked URLs, generic terminology, exact match keywords, keywords in groups, or in context rather, keywords used in bigger phrases that are hyperlinked. So we can do all the combinations correctly ourselves. We are doing what normally people are trying to emulate, that natural human behavior internet-wide for backlinking, as though different humans were really doing it. We have actually automated that. And because of SEO site tools, right, we can literally do site audits, okay? There are like literally site by site, we can do audits, okay? So if I were just to come to one of the projects in here, then I can run a site audit on that website. And it can literally say, all right, here's what you got right, here's what you got wrong. We're like, oh, of course. Either we get a hold of the client and tell them, hey, you need to beef this up, or if it's under our control, or if it's through our copywriters, we just contact them and go, hey, you got the main page filled out, but you forgot to fill out the inner pages with more content. They only have a couple of starter sentences each. We just noticed. So you got to fill those in, because otherwise Google treats it like a landing page rather than a website. So it's not ranking yet, but the pages are indexing. That means Google's fine with it, but it's not finished. Get more content into the inner pages. And then our guys go and do that. And then now we meet Google's criteria for website, and all of a sudden the rank improves. Okay. So we can audit everything we have, and that way let the software tell us where we forgot something, or where we're making a mistake, or we've got too much of one and not enough of the other, or we have all of one and nothing of the other. You know, Google likes to see a lot of variety kick into things like this. And so we can absolutely beef it all up just by working through it. And it doesn't take a lot. The websites by themselves have been SEO optimized, and all the backlinking websites are SEO optimized because they're all built on the same platform. So what does that mean? That means it doesn't take much to compete extremely well with everyone else. It really doesn't. We just got to lay it out. So yeah, we're close. You guys have been putting us there. For all of you guys who are home and you're trying to get into this, get in, pick up positions, and get rolling. The best way to do it right now, you can either sign up here, gettrialleads.com/WI. Okay. You might even need to put an ending slash to get the link to pop up right. I forget. We kind of had some problems with that before, but now that's working fine. And then once you sign up, it's going to tell you how to log in. Basically, it's going to tell you to do this. Go to gettrialleads.com/admin. Okay, so you never need to go to the WI site, page anymore, because you're done registering. Go to admin and log in as a portfolio holder with your email and your pass, and hit log in. Okay, positions that we make available there, you're going to be able to grab and get going on them. Now, that system isn't quite finished yet. So where else you can go that you can use for the migration, where for anyone who's ready right now and you want to start somewhere. Let me just show you. Website-installer.com. This is the explanation. Professional services. This explains what's going on. Now, granted, this video's older by now, obviously, so it's going to talk about things from like what, 2 months ago. It's like a 2-month-old video, but you get the idea. And it's just been that what I've been showing you is that it's been growing ever since. This is how it works. This is what's going on. So just so you know, okay. And down here are the options. So email and whatever website you want marketed. If you want to be part of our group, just put choose for me. If you have your own project and you need to get your own website made or something, or backlink your own website, then put in your own website, hit subscribe. For all of you guys with the lower end packages here, then what we do is start backlinking your website. But we can also create a project for you. This is where we can go full out creating a full scale website. Yeah, for you, that's really, really good. Okay. You can work your way up on the smaller payments if you're trying to build a website. But many of you already have something to promote, and so you can start wherever you want. The way I explain it to people is just like you think, right? Every 125 per month is a metro area covered by 1 million people. That's the purpose of 125 a month. So by the time you get here, that's 10 million people. It's 10 times as strong. So this is good for niche markets in one location. This is good for niche markets in multiple locations or nationwide. This is good for mid-competitive markets in one location. This is good for medium competitive, mid-competitive markets in multiple locations or nationwide. This is for actually aggressively competitive industries in one location. And then this is, competitive industries in multiple locations or nationwide. Just think that way. You can obviously make adjustments. You can say you can pause and start. You can raise and lower subscriptions at any time. You can definitely pause and start another one, or cancel one and start another one. You can go big to get it rolling, and then stop it and go small to fill in more of a maintenance mode, so to speak. In that case, just to keep adding to it after you got it kicked off as hard as you can. Okay. So there you go. That's the news, and it's going to be pretty interesting. By the way, like companies like this, we didn't touch them until just a couple of days ago, like maybe here. So the beginning of our interaction with this company started here. If you say, why'd they drop in the meantime? One interesting thing to note is it's not so much that a graph means that you dropped. You know what it means more than anything? Your competitors did not lie down and die. So as they raise themselves up through their own marketing efforts, you drop relatively. If you were position 4 and then the position 5 guy now becomes the position 4 guy because they did some marketing and you did not, you drop, right? If another guy comes up, you drop again. So drops basically mean this. After we did some testing and realized how well we can control what we're doing, we turned our back to the finishing of all the power that lets us go 19,000 backlinks strong, 190 backlinking websites, each with 6 pages, each with 2 to 3 backlinks per page, aiming in for each industry, and we're going for a list of 100 websites. And anyone who says, go faster, Dave, go faster, listen, believe me, my heart is there, okay? I want it all now. The best we can do is build it up and keep tracking and pushing all the stuff that we've been doing, organizing everything, figuring out how it's all supposed to go. And we have been pounding away. And in the middle of it all, what do you think we had to do? Figure out how to get our whole crew working from home, how to organize that. Project management software is really, really good for that. How to get everything set up in a way to make it easy for guys who don't really understand the process to do their parts, right? And just get everyone going, get them onboarded, get them sold on the idea, which wasn't hard because now that everyone's stuck at home, we have more resources than we ever had. Copywriters, they're ready. You know, we can go ballistic. So, yeah, you guys have really, those of you who've been paying, you've supported us to a point where this happened. It happened. Like I said, this toddler's crawling now and he's learning how to walk. Really soon he's going to be running. And in the meantime, all of you guys who make at least 3 payments in, you earn the right to earn from this thing and keep growing it. So just cross that threshold at whatever level is comfortable for you to cross. And like I say, if you start here right now, it's perfectly good. Go ahead and do that. And then as soon as we finish up in the back end and all of this is done and we get all those positions in there, you guys can, we're going to attach the subscriptions for all the guys who got them to your positions. And then you'll be able to release and claim for anything you want every day coming out of this. How far away are we from this thing running and actually being viable? Probably 2 weeks. Okay, honestly, like 2 weeks. And so from there, get the rank up first. Sales will lag because obviously, you know, we need to get the economy coming back to life again after this. But if we're ranking hard in lots of industries as the economy comes back to life, that's huge. That means tons of phones ringing through websites we set up for all of our clients and for all of you guys getting in. The dispatchers are doing their job. The sales guys are doing their job of getting the leads. The monitors are doing their job of checking the phone calls so that they can figure out how many each guy earns for. The collection guys are doing their part to make sure all the payments get gathered and collected. All the backlinking guys are doing their backlinking. SEO guys are doing their SEO and monthly revisits on the sites. The copywriters are pounding away new content into the sites. And you can get into all that and have this running and earn your share of that income for the equivalent of a domain name per referral website. That's like if you told someone, tell you what, you know, how about this? I will pitch in the domain name. You get the server, you get the website, you type it all in, you fill it all out, you get it going, you do the SEO, you do all the backlinking to drive my business up. And then I'll pay you another domain name to do one more, and another domain name to do one more. And that's it. You do all that work. You get your part, I'll get mine, but that's the only investment I'm making. Now I don't know where else that's possible, but we've automated so much of the system that it's possible now at this level, and it's going to be like 100 industries nationwide. Okay, with just a level of growth that I've never seen anyone produce before. 19,000 backlinking websites in 2 weeks that are all totally not just backlinks, but they're referring websites for all of these things, and they're all different. Never seen that before. It's pretty unprecedented. And the fact that you can get in and earn from that, your share, basically like a tenth of the revenue that comes in from all those calls. And it should be at least 3 times what you're paying after you make about 3 payments in to get up to a point where that's going to grow into place. Okay. And then anything that you want to release and claim, you can just release and claim along the way. The whole thing is being set up so it's live and available for you to use as income stream, very much like a stock market, but for website returns. Pretty crazy. That's cool. Okay, I hope you guys understand the gist of it. I hope you find it interesting. I hope it looks a bit like a beacon of hope, you know, in these troubling times. If you read articles now, the world will never return to work quite the same way anymore. It's all going to move online more. And for us, that's a huge opportunity because we can outdo everyone. We have more automation, which means we can charge less for greater results. As an example, I talked to a typical website developer and I asked him, how long does it take you to install a cPanel? He said about 2 minutes. Okay, so if you installed 100, how long would it take you? You know, 100 would be 100 minutes, you know. So yeah, 2 minutes. So I'm sorry, 200 minutes. So it'd be like 3 hours and 20 minutes. It's like, yeah, and then break time. So that's like 4 hours, then go to lunch, right? Yeah. half a workday. And then how long would it take you to create a wildcard subdomain for each of them? Oh, about 2 minutes each. So 100 websites takes you a day to set up. Yeah. How much do you get paid per hour for that? Or how much does House charge for that? Could be anything. 80 bucks an hour times 8 hours. It's $640 just to create that much work, right? The websites haven't even been installed yet, and that's $640. In our case, we can produce 100 cPanels in about 43 seconds now. And we can put the wildcard subdomains up in about 100 seconds. Literally, we don't need to charge what everyone else charges to do far, far, far more. And that's what shows, because literally you're paying the equivalent of a domain name per referring website to have a full 6-page website backlinking whatever you want. Whether it's through our project, choose for me, or whether it's something that you have in mind that you want to build up or want to improve upon. Okay, that's where we are, guys. That's where we are. Those of you who are in, thank you for everything that you've been doing to support us to the degree you can. I know it's tough times. You're making a monster live, and this should pay you back for the rest of your life. That's the goal, is that this is the retirement score. And then for those of you who haven't gotten in yet, the more of you who can manage to reach in and pull something out and get going, all those little payments, they add up. And what they do is allow us to get more done faster through the workforce. They help everyone get paid, stay stable, so that they can keep putting time in, so that we can keep growing this beast at a bigger level. Everyone's doing their best. And so for those of you who partake and help, just trust that we are backing you. Anyone who's making payments towards this, anyone who's helping this out in the modern day, we're not lying around watching TV. We doubled down on the work, and we are pounding away. And that's what's making all of this happen and all of this possible. It's such a level that it's just simply going to get us all paid, okay? All right. I really hope I made the point, and thank you so much.